As a district, we've consistently scored above state average in every content area. But for the last 2 years, we've noticed a little discrepancy in our chemistry, in our high school chemistry classes, where we've scored below state average. And that was in 2010 and 2011. We were about 3% below state average proficiency, which was concerning because, you know, that didn't match the trends that we were seeing in our other courses.
We were reviewing the CRT scores, and we're finding that our students were underperforming on the CRT exams. And we were finding that our students typically perform above state average, and our trend line was going down. So when we looked at these, we thought that we needed to do something to help student achievement.
Previous years, I've kind of had the mindset of I will teach them fairly well and let the chips fall where they may as far as the end of level test. But this last year, they made a plea to try to make it better.
I think a lot of the chemistry teachers didn't know what was on the core, what they were being taught, what they had to teach to be graded on. They didn't understand that they didn't need to go into depth on a lot of things, that they just needed to make sure the kids knew the basics, because it's just chemistry, it's just basic chemistry. If they know the basic chemistry, they'll do well on the test.
So as a result of this, we put together a professional learning committee that was comprised of all of our chemistry teachers, some assistants from Utah State University and a few of their professors, and myself. And we sat down every single month for a year, and we looked at how we could improve our instruction, what was really essential about the chemistry core, what kids really needed to know and be able to do to be successful in chemistry.
We worked a lot together. All the chemistry teachers got together, argued endlessly, which chemistry teachers are especially gifted at doing. But that was probably part of the process, to sort out what's important and what's not. And so we came up with a lot of good ideas. We came up with some crazy games. We came up with all kinds of materials to help the students understand better.
So a lot of it was a focus on the standards themselves, and the other was an emphasis on what the standards meant. So we went through the standards as a chemistry team and honed in, what does this mean? What types of questions are my students going to be asked? What is the bare minimum? And the term that we used is takeaways. So if my students forgot everything else I said today, what's the one thing I want them to remember? And that's kind of where we started placing our emphasis.
We gave them a quiz, and if they scored less than 70, we invited them to attend the review class where we went over the standard and how to explained and then gave examples of how to do the things that were required for that particular standard. They took another quiz at the end of that, and if they did better, we changed their score on the quiz. So that was one of the things. They also got a little treat for coming and some extra credit points for showing up. And at every review class that we had for our 6 standards last year, we had at least 25 and as many as about 60 kids come to the review classes. And so we were hitting a pretty good spectrum of kids, plus the kids got to see a lot of similar questions, not exactly the same obviously, but questions dealing with those particular items that they were going to see.
And in 2012, we saw that discrepancy swing completely the other way, so that we were behind. So instead of being below state average, we were well above state average, and that swing was really significant. You can see that in 2010, the district was 2.7% below the state proficiency mark. And then in 2011, both the state and the district slipped a little in proficiency. The district slipped a little more than the state, and we ended up being 3.1% below state average. Now in 2012, state proficiencies went up and district proficiencies went way up. So we ended up being, at the end of 2012, 6.2% above state average. And that's where we get our 9.3% swing, is that from 3 below to 6 above is pretty remarkable.
Our collaboration on the district level was phenomenal. It was really great because we concentrated on the CRT and how we were doing things, but we also developed a big bank of information for teachers so that teachers can go to our Dropbox and find activities for every single standard, ways that have been successful for other teachers. So we were drawing on everybody's best ideas for the whole year. And I think it will change everything that we do this year as well, because now we've got that big bank of all of those materials that we can draw from, in addition to what we'd already done.
In this past year, I've seen an excitement in the teachers, which correlates to, I think, an excitement with the kids, because if the teacher's excited about what they're teaching and knows what's going to be on the test, then they can portray that to the kids, and then the kids feel more confident with the test and they're able to do.
It's worthwhile to do this. It's really exciting to be able to go in and make improvements and have it be tangible and have it be measurable.
If I can show them, this is what is happening in your world and this is how it relates to chemistry, that's an exciting bridge for them, and they catch that fire and go, and they say, this is cool, this is a cool class. It's not just, well, it's sort of hard, but yeah, but it's cool. You got to take it. You know, and so I get kids here that want to be here.